It's that time of the month again. It is time to build positively with BPG. So if you want to know what I've done so far this month in the game, or in the month of October in the game, and where we're heading to in November, both from a resource perspective and a roster perspective, then join me in this video. What's going on, everyone? I'm BPG and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I make at least 2 Marvel Strike Force videos every single week, usually based around the events within the game. However, sometimes I do get to add videos exactly like Build Positively here. So if you find the content in this video helpful, please do consider giving it a like, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss another BPG upload. And if you're new around here or not, why not shove a comment down below? I love to hear from each and every single one of you. Now I'm going to open this up. This slide is usually later on in the video, but I am going to open this up with this slide. Marvel Strike Force, it is your game. It is your rules. If you are happy where you are in the game and doing what you're doing, then carry on. As long as you are having fun playing the game, that is the most important thing. So what is building positively? What does it mean? Well, for me, it means growing my roster while staying within the constraints of the game, being free to play. So that is being as competitive as I can be in as many game modes as possible and still staying as a free to play player. And to do this, I need to know my resource income on a monthly basis. I need to know what the character release schedule is looking like. And from this, I can come up with a strategy for myself and for you guys to follow along as well, if you want to, of how to best build my characters and how many characters I can build in a month. And this is for mostly mid to end game players, but you could apply this at any point in time in the game. Okay, so let's go over our resource income for October, and we're going to start with a bit of a gold income recap. So we've been doing this since April, but I've started to pare it down a little bit more. So in June, we were at nearly 240 million gold worth of income over the 30 days, which gave us nearly 8 million gold a day to spend if we wanted to. July's income shot up again to 264 million gold. August, a slight drop at 263 million gold. And September was a whopper of a month at 291 million gold, which giving us nearly 10 million gold a day to spend. Now, how did October look? So here is the gold income that I made for October. You can see here is a very simple spreadsheet, and I'm going to leave a link to this spreadsheet in the comments or in the description down below. Very, very simple. All you do, you put your starting balance in, you go to the golden opportunity milestone. That will tell you how much gold you've spent on a daily basis. So just go in there and see what your gold says your gold has spent for the day. I then take that off. That's my gold spent. And then I put my finishing balance in. And that is going to give us our total gold income for the day. And you will see here our total gold income for October slightly lower than September's, especially with the 31 days in the month. It was 288 million gold. Now, I am not the first content creator to do this. Rage Gaming, who is another free-to-play player, he has also been tracking his gold for a very long period of time. A massive shout out to him. Here is his latest video, insane gold update. Gold economy is strong, training mats review as well, which he started doing. And you can see here, I have been pulling off his to see how close we are, the two of us. So January, 129 million, February, 151 million. You can see this trend of the gold going up. September, he was 320 million, but I believe in September, he completed his Dark Dimensions, I believe it was. So he had a big injection of gold due to that. October, he is on 288 million, which is exactly the same as what we have bought in. So a very similar position for the two free-to-play accounts. And when you get two accounts that are both free-to-play, doing the same things or similar things, it's got to start showing that that is not just it's more of a trend rather than just a one-off or a random one-off. All right, so now we are going to move on to our training material income in September. We're going to just have a look at what that was like. And I used to put a massive, great big spreadsheet. Again, I'm going to make that one available in the description down below. That was a little bit more of a finicky spreadsheet because you've got to put in the green, the blue, the purple, and gold training ability materials that you use for it to do it. But basically in September, we bought 212 million golds worth of training materials into our account. And if you can see here, this is the cost in training materials to level a character from level 1 to my suggested breakdown, which is level 70, level 80, level 90, level 95, and level 100. If you wanted to do it straight from 1 to 100, your total training material gold cost would be 23,403,170. And so what does that mean? Where do we get? How many characters could we do with 212 million golds worth of training materials? Well, if you wanted to in September, you could level 9 characters to level 100 from level 1. Now, our October income. Now, September was definitely a outlier. We had the pocket dimension, which was wrong. And we were able to do that more times than we should have been able to. So there was a massive income of training materials. And I thought we would see a income decline this month because of that mistake. I don't think I was overly wrong. So this month, what did I bring in? I bought in 140 million gold worth of training materials into the account in October. And that is only going to allow me to level 6 characters. So a big drop in training materials. And I'm wondering, is that... I think we normally get just over that, if I'm completely honest. I mean, that still will allow you to level all the characters that come out within a 1 month period. So I don't believe that is a issue as such. But what it does mean is that we were severely sort of stumped for training materials in October. Okay, so another thing that I track every single month is the T4 economy. I must say this is in a pretty decent position as well. This is our T4 economy in October. As you can see, we had a total of 4,984 T4s coming into the account. Now, there are some parts there where I went through nodes in DD8, so I got a bit of a bonus of T4s, so that might not be an every single month occurrence, but that is still T4s we have to take into account when we are doing this. So 4,984 T4s over the course of the month. We spent 4,860 of those T4s, so it's very simple, as you can see, to spend those T4s. Very little areas here where I've been spending T4s compared to bringing them in. Now, this is based on the Spotlight 1.2 raid, so the hardest difficulty of the Spotlight raids, and we are completing those as My Alliance at 100% every single day. And here are the T4 costs. So a basic is going to cost you 180 T4s. A special is going to cost you 220 T4s. An ultimate is going to cost you 240. And your passive is going to cost you 200. If you wanted to completely T4 a character, that is 840 T4s. how many of these characters could we do in October? Well, we could fully T4 5.16 characters in October. Now, most of the time, you are probably not going to be doing the basic. That is usually one that a lot of people leave off. But 5.16 characters, that is the equivalent of the amount of characters normally on a normal month that we have released. That might change with the new release method that they're doing at the moment, but we will see. But at the moment, the T4s are meaning that we can build the characters as long as we start from a fresh base and we're not trying to build backwards. We can build from the new characters. Every single character could have all their T4s put into them that come out within a month. Now, a very important income, which is your power core income. Now, for reference, I sit within the top 20 of my arena shard. I do have Mephisto. I'm on my way to getting Odin, so that will then put me hopefully into the top 10 of my arena shard. This is where the income will vary dramatically, is the power core income. But this is my power core income for October. So you can see by staying in the top 20 of the arena, we have a total power core income of 18,800 power cores. The power core economy at the moment in game is really, really good. It is sustainable to be able to actually open or use those power cores on character orbs. Now, I know we have had a few power core hungry events recently, but on a normal sort of regular basis, we should be able to be coring for characters. And speaking of characters, let's take a look at the character releases. So you can see I've been tracking the character releases since, now this is what I call the 2024 release schedule. So since the Extreme X-Men, which were the first of the teams that came out in 2024, where we had Nightcrawler and Forge, arguably, who came out in December 23, but they were all part of this 2024 team. We've had Hive Mind, we've had Out of Time, we've had Cabal, we have had Spider Society, we've had Mercs for Money. And now moving on to the newer side of it, we've had Alpha Flight, we've had Illuminati, we have had Ares, which was a special release character. We have had the Annihilators, which is the new stat meta. So Ares is the start of the new stat meta. Also, the Illuminati was the start of the new release method, where we've had these sort of, people call them crappy orbs. I don't know that they're so bad. I'm getting used to them now. So we've had the Annihilators. We've then had Orcus, Night Stalkers. The Undying team had an upgrade and a new character in Zombie Scarlet Witch. And we are just on the cusp now. We've just had the first character released for the Astral team, which is the first of the Battle World specific teams. And in October 2024, our average days between releases, because I've been tracking this since the beginning of the year, things are getting less. You can physically see that we're around about 8 days between releases now for a lot of stuff, but that has brought the average down to 9.9 days. So 10 days for every release, roughly. So now that we know all of these variables, we know what T4s we've got coming in, we know what gold and training materials we've got coming in, we know our power core income, we know what the characters are, you know, how many characters roughly we're getting a month and how that's looking. We can now build our strategy. And I like this picture here. I've used this for a number of these now. We've got to think about a strategy. Well, we've just been doing that. We've got to plan our strategy, which is what we're going to go into now and what I've done. And then we have to manage our strategy. And that is something that we are going to be constantly doing as players, is managing our strategy of how we are building our characters within the game. And welcome back to the car showroom. These aren't my cars, by the way. This is just some random picture I've taken. But why are we in a car showroom? Well, if you have seen this video before, I apologize for having to go over this again. But if you're new around here, the reason why we are in a car showroom is because of the analogy. Now, Dogbert made this analogy and I thought it was very, very good. Dogbert, unfortunately, is a Marvel Strike Force content creator that doesn't create Marvel Strike Force content anymore. But he basically said that a bit like a car depreciates in value when it gets driven off the forecourt or out of the showroom, Marvel Strike Force characters depreciate in value as soon as they are released, which means we need to be building them as quickly as possible to get the best and most amount of use out of them. So here is my strategy that I came up with in early 2024. And this I have been pretty much following for the whole of this year. I decided to stop building characters pre-2024, apart from Superior 6. They were a passion project. But apart from those guys, I have not built anything that isn't a 2024 team. So if it doesn't have a rework in 2024, it ain't getting built. If it's not a new character from 2024, it didn't get him built. And this is the strategy that we're sticking with. So on the first day the character that we unlock the character, we're going to take that character to level 70 and gear tier 13. The second day, we're going to level it to level 80 and gear tier 15. Level 90, gear tier 17. Level 95, gear tier 18, and so on and so forth. Level 100. You want to be taking your characters to level 100. If you are commander level 100, that is a given, because of the stat increase that you get for taking them to 100. It's just work for. And then for the next 5 days after that, we could then spend 6 million gold just to get all of the rewards from the golden opportunity milestone. And we can do that by buying materials from the gold store, or currently the turkey store and the candy store we can be using our gold in. You could use this to work on old characters if you really want to, but be aware if you're working on old characters, that will also impact your training materials. Or you could work on characters for the latest Dark Dimension if that is what you are doing. So our October gold income, as I said, was 288 million gold. Over the 31 days, that gave us 9.3 million gold to spend. So as you can see, by that strategy there, we should be in a positive of gold balance all the time, because we are not spending that 9 million gold a day. So we should always be chalking gold up, ready for if we need to do something very quickly, or we need to pivot, or there's a level cap increase, we can deal with that issue. And as we have already gone over, our training materials for October was 140 million gold. As I said, that is down from last month, but again, you should still be able to do a full team once a month with that sort of training material income. So what did I do last month? What was my build strategy? Well, I'm doing something a little different this time with you guys. So last month I spent 206 million gold worth of training materials on characters. I overspent. That has really hurt my account. I will say this right now, to the point where I am having to go back to properly hardly, putting a real hard budget on myself as to what I'm doing. So let's go into my account in game and we will take a look at this. So here we are in the roster screen and you can see what I have been up to. So all of my teams up to Orcus are at level 100. The reworked characters for Night Stalkers are up to level 100. But by going back and doing the Superior 6, which is what I did last month with some of my materials, it has actually slowed my progress slightly. So I now have still Blade at level 1, I just unlocked Man Thing yesterday, so he's still at level 1 though. I've got Zombie Scarlet Witch at level 1. Ancient One, who I called for, who again is at level 1. I still have to get Doctor Strange up to level 100 and Moondragon up to 100. And I'm trying to keep some training materials aside because I'm very close to getting Odin unlocked. And because of that, I want to keep some training materials so I can take him straight to level 100 when I unlock him. So by going backwards, I actually hurt myself and I'm now a few characters behind where I should be from the previous months. And again, going back and doing the zombies has also hurt me, but we needed to do that for events to be able to do well in those weekly events. And so this is basically what I did last month. So we took Omega Red into Dark Dimension 7 along with Nova and Green Goblin Classic. So all of those guys got sort of level 100 and gear tier 19 put on them. We finished off the Mercs for Money. We finished off the Illuminati. We finished off the basically the Annihilators with Silver Surfer going to level 100. We took our 2 Night Stalkers up to the top. We unlocked Mephisto, so that was one day where we took him straight from level 1 to 100, making the most out of him, and gear tier 19. Then we did these Undying characters here, as you can see. And Omega Sentinel, she got straight to level 100, gear tier 18. And then we did these Dr. Octopus, Lizard, Spider Slayer, and Kestrel, all for Kestrel was for Dark Dimension. Craven, Lizard, and Spider Slayer and Doc Octopus, they were just because they weren't up to level 100 for a Superior 6, and they're a bit of a passion project. I like the Superior 6. And again, it's my game, I play it my way, but yeah, it has impacted me where my training materials are concerned. I spent way too many last month to what I had coming in, and so I started to sort of eat away at some of my resources that I had saved. And so I want to leave you with something here. If you are always looking back, you will never move forwards. And this is true in Marvel Strike Force. If you are trying to build characters from behind, you are never going to move forward. You're always going to be behind. And that's why you need to, if you want to be part of the, if you want to catch up with the meta, you need to put a line in the sand and stop building old characters and only focus on the new. If it was me right now, I would focus on Ares onwards because they are the new stat characters in this new stat meta. So you would have Ares, you would have Annihilators, you would have Orcus, you'd have Night Stalkers, you'd have Undying, and you would have Astral to build. That would be where I would be looking at right now if it was me as a player coming up to the end game and making those decisions that I did at the beginning of the year. So what is my build strategy for this month? So the month of November. Well, here we have it. This is what I'm going to be working on. Odin is top of my list. He has to go to gear tier 19 and level 100. Doctor Strange and Moondragon are the next ones to go, with Emma Frost, Ancient One and Emma Frost. And then Shadow King, when his game mode comes out, that's going to get them ready for Battle World. I'm then actually going to do Blade, Oath and Man Thing to get the Night Stalkers team finished off. And Zombie Scarlet Witch, unfortunately, will be one of the last ones on the list to go up. We've then got other new teams, but you can see here we're still at 234 million gold worth of training materials. So unless we get a really decent amount of training materials coming into our account in November, we are going to be probably only getting about 5 or 6 of these characters done before December. So what do you think of the Build Positively plan? Do you follow my Build Positively plan, or have you got your own plan yourself? Why not let me know in the comments down below. If anything in this video has helped you, please do consider giving the video a like and maybe even share it with one of your alliance mates who it might help them as well. And until next time, everyone, build positively.